And now a word on integral ecology. Oh my. The expression initially by Pope John Paul II was human ecology. And how did that come about? Like, why isn't the word ecology enough? Well, in Europe and in parts of the US, there was an ideology that was going around called deep ecology. And it was gaining lots of ground in the 80s, the 90s. And deep ecology basically is biocentric, so every life is equivalent. So we must respect all life. And because of human habits, humans have infected the earth. Humans are kind of like a cancer to the earth. And so obviously that's a very damaging ideology. And sometimes, politically in Europe, because there's a Green Party there, and also very, movements and NGOs, they would do surprising things. So the church's reaction was, some people are very interested in ecology, but are forgetting their solidarity towards other humans. And so the expression human ecology worked for a while, but finally in the encyclical it was changed for integral ecology, which I find interesting. So here is, for me, a nice image of integral ecology. You have a human being. She's a mother. She's taking care of her child. She's taking care of the soil so it can produce, so she can feed her family. We don't just see a monoculture. We see already a kind of a diversity of crops and mostly like trees around. So it's this relationship. It's ecology. We're taking care of the earth, but we're taking care of human beings at the same time. So integral ecology is kind of like environmental ecology, economic ecology, social ecology, cultural ecology, family ecology. Or, for fun, you could put the word green in front. So I want a green environment, a green economy, a green society, a green culture, and a green family, and a green church. So integral ecology is that this concern for life, for the biodiversity, for how the systems work. This concern should also always be towards human beings as well. Okay, and in the integral ecology, there's a constant concern for the common good. And when we say common good, we're talking about this generation, but also future generations as well. So the future generations can have at least as much as we have. Here's an example of integral ecology. Or a counterexample, I guess. We see here a dam, which is producing electricity because of the force of water, but it displaced local populations. So we're doing a huge social injustice for a green project. And that's not in integral ecology. We cannot presume to heal our relationship with nature and the environment without healing all fundamental human relationships. When some are stronger and impose their will on those who are weaker, we can't be doing ecology at the same time. There's something wrong. Here's another example. This little tiny frog grows up to 2.5 centimeters, so that's 1 inch, is called a chorus frog. And not too far from my house, there's this beautiful park, and I can walk in it, and it's it's a protected reserve for chorus frogs. And it's magical to walk there. The songs they make is just amazing. And think about it. And I was a witness to this. For years and years, biologists and environmental groups, they would write to newspapers, they would write to decision makers, and they would insist that those woods should be protected because of this endangered species. So all of these people were concerned with a species that is big as my thumb. It's kind of amazing that people can devote part of their life to protect a little life form like that. And then the encyclical goes on to say, since everything is interrelated, concern for the protection of nature is also incompatible with the justification of abortion. Basically, if we're capable of protecting the little chorus frog, we should also be able to protect the life to be born, which is probably that big in the womb. And we should be able to take care of that. Now, this means lots of implications, and it's very hard for a white man like me to say things like that, because obviously I can get a bunch of other answers. I'll just say this. Research has shown in the US that Catholics, compared to the rest of the population, don't have a lower rate of abortions. So before we start telling governments and others to do things, I think we need to work on the culture inside of our own religion. The Catholics have to see, what message is being gone around. Is it just to tell the government that should change the laws, or should there be something internally? And second of all, well, if we want abortions to go down, poverty has to go down, and a bunch of solutions have to be available to help the person not have an abortion. So there's absolutely no judgment towards women in what I'm saying, and it's a very sensitive subject. I'm trying to find the words to say this properly. But what the encyclical is getting at is just that we cannot, in all coherence, care for the environment and protect life there and not be protecting life in our own species. It just makes sense to help both. That's another example of integral ecology.